Welcome to Cash Chats with me, Andy Webb from BeCleverWithYourCash.com. This is a podcast to help you make the most of your money. Episode 378, I'll be taking you through the top paying limited and easy access cash ISAs. I'll be looking at reward current accounts, the ones that get you things like free cinema tickets, free cash every single month, telling you which ones to go for and which ones to avoid. Plus, I want to share my top tips for saving money at the theatre. All of that and deals of the week. So make sure you stay tuned for the whole episodes. But let's get into it. This is episode 378 of Cash Chats. So when you are going to the theatre, to the West End, it can be really expensive. More expensive than I think it's ever been. Sometimes you look at these tickets and they're like, how much? A couple of £100 sometimes for those, the stalls tickets, which are kind of nice, central, very great view of everything. That's a huge amount of money to pay. And I will never pay that. I'm never going to do that. That is really, really extortionate amount of money, I think. And I've been down to London a few times this year already and been sort of 3 or 4 plays, and I've been able to save money each time I've gone. So I thought I'd share those top tips with you of how I've managed to do that. The first thing I'll do, this is a pretty obvious one, right? But I will keep an eye out for special offers and sales. There are a number of these that run throughout the year, so always do keep an eye out for it. Whenever there are really good ones, I will let you know in Deals of the Week here on the podcast or over at BeCleverWithYourCash.com, where we've got a separate deals page for theatre tickets as well. So always keep an eye out for those. But don't just assume because something says, oh, look, here's an offer, here's a discount. It actually is going to be a good price for you. Often these ones are going to be limited in the views, restricted seats. You might not have a great view of what you're going to see, things like that. So yes, they might be reduced, but just do bear that in mind. They're not always going to be the best ones out there. There are other ways to bring that price down, but certainly keep an eye out for those. They are really, really good. But what I've actually been doing when I've been going down instead is a couple of different options. I've been looking at the theatre booth. This is a famous one in London. I used to go when I was a kid to Leicester Square to the tickets booth, TKTS. And we used to queue up there. Queues used to be massive and you'd be able to get relatively decent discounts. This is the official theatre booth. I say there are other places around London which sell discounted ones. They are not official ones. This one was always the place to go. Well, you can do that online now. You can book your tickets. And I've done that a couple of times this year already. Gone in and you're chancing it a little bit because you might not find the production that you want to see is available. You might not have any spare tickets and you might not have any discount at all. But it's always a great place to look and just see what is available. But I've done that, but I've also been looking at day tickets. Again, you're leaving it to the last minute, but these are generally called rush tickets. It used to be, again, you had to go and queue up at that individual theatre. They'd have 10 or 20 seats, and you get there and you'd see a queue. And once that number of people in that line, probably about half that number, because people are often buying 2 tickets, then tough luck, and you have to get there early. Again, you can do this all online now. The majority of the time, this is done via an app called Today Tix. So again, Today and then TIX. And this is what I've used as well a couple of times this year and last year. And again, there are limited seats each time, and the most popular ones are going to go really, really fast. But just last week, I was looking for stuff, and there were still tickets for some productions, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So again, depends what you want to see. And if you're living in London and you've got a bit more flexibility to see things at different times, then that's great. Obviously, if you're going to London specifically and you really want to see a certain production, that's not going to work for you. But it's definitely worth a look. One warning with both of those is the same as that warning I told you before with the sale. Often these tickets that are left over, these standby tickets effectively, may have restricted views. Not always going to be the case, but certainly just because something is £10, £15, £20, which sounds great, it might not be the best experience. Now, if you can't afford to pay more, then absolutely go for these. But if you can afford to pay more, you might want to actually go to a site. And this is an essential site that I use. I've been using it for such a long time. It's called Theatre Monkey. And this will have this guy who runs it, plus he gets the users to kind of contribute their feedback as well. Every theatre, every production in London, you will get a seating map, a plan, which is kind of giving you the hazards. So you'll know if you sit here, you're going to have a railing obscuring your view. Or if you sit over there, you might have, like, if you're more than 5'6" high, you might not have any leg room at all. You'll be squashed up for the whole 2-3 hours of the production. So that is a really, really good place to go. And just if you've got the time to weigh up whether that ticket you're going to take over there might only be £15, but are you actually going to enjoy the performance instead? Is it better going to the theatre booth or maybe finding a different deal, paying more money? Again, still could be quite expensive, but maybe paying £40 if you can afford it, and then you're going to enjoy the experience more. Not always the case, but certainly something that I've used. And in fact, that's just last week, I decided against one of these lottery tickets that I was going to use, or a day ticket I was going to go a standby ticket because the view was going to be so obscured. Well, what's the point? I'd rather, and I went and saw something else instead. Now, the something else instead that I saw was to go as a seat filler. This is a great thing. It's not just for theatre. The show I went was a comedy show, but you can use it for all sorts of things. And these are essentially top secret things. I have covered these in more detail on the pod previously in a whole article on becleveryourcash.com, which I'll link to in the show notes. So I won't cover them in huge detail. But these are sites like Show Film First and Central Tickets, which if you join them, they are most of the time free to join. There are some of them which might charge you a monthly or annual fee to use them. You sign up for these seat filler things, and ultimately, if the production has undersold, whatever it might be, and they want you, they want an audience there, they need an atmosphere, right? Because if you've just got a few people, the people with paid money and those with empty seats, it's not going to be so enjoyable. They're not going to tell their friends, not going to recommend it, and then seats sales are less further down. So you get these seat fillers in. Generally, you will pay an admin fee. It depends on the production, how much that's going to be. For a comedy show, that could be just £4. For a West End show, maybe it's 15 quid. But that will get you in. And sometimes those seats are phenomenal. So I saw, say it was a comedy show, but it was in the West End. I got a stretch, a run. It's got like 2 weeks in a proper theatre in the West End. I paid 15 quid rather than 60 quid for this ticket. And I was kind of 5 rows back and about 4 off the centre. So really, really, really good seat. And that was from one of these seat filling things. And you often get big productions in there as well. Again, not necessarily the most popular ones. You're not going to get Harry Potter in there, but you might get something else that's perfectly good, decent reviews, just for whatever reason, they want to get more crowds in. So they are the key things that I would be going for. Another one that I've not done properly, but is worth looking at, and this is around the resale market. Now, always be really careful of touts. Obviously, touts are not good, but there is a really good website, which is a fan-to-fan. It's an app and website, fan-to-fan resale called Twickets. I'd use this more for concerts, for gigs, which has been great, but there are also a number of theatre shows on their productions. If someone's got a ticket, they can't go, and they want to sell it, they'll list it on there, and you will pay the full price, never more than full price, plus an admin fee. So it could be a little bit more, but often, if you're leaving it late and you've got a bit of time, some of those people, they really want to sell a ticket, they can't go, they will accept offers, or they will reduce the price already. And sometimes there, you do see those really, really big top shows there at a lower price. Again, you need that flexibility to be able to sort of go, oh, I'm going to go today or go tomorrow. But it's definitely well worth having a look at that. The only other thing I would say here as well, one other thing to think about is how you pay for those theatre tickets. If you aren't going to be able to take advantage of some of these last minute things I've spoken about, or these sales aren't running at the time, then maybe think about how you pay. And sometimes you can get discounted gift cards for the places that will sell you the tickets. Now, personally, I wouldn't buy them in advance for things like Love Theatre and those kind of sites, because although they might sound great, they are generally going to restrict you, won't necessarily have all the deals and discounts. I'd rather wait until the time and buy them if I know I'm going to buy it on this particular site here or there, because that's the price that I want to go for, or go for a more generic one, which is not going to expire, not going to run out, and can be used in potentially a lot of different places. So for theatres across the whole UK, not just London, theatre tokens are a great way of doing this. So if you can find those on discounted sites or get payouts from cashback sites, that is a great way just to gradually build up a balance of money where they are kind of a little bit of a discount that can be applied. Just do bear in mind when you're using those theatre tokens in particular, not all websites, most theatres can't use them online. You're going to have to phone up and do it. I've done it before. It's relatively simple. But don't forget as well, you can buy theatre tickets from the likes of See Tickets and Ticketmaster. And again, they are regularly on the likes of, can't say for certain which ones, but like your Jam Donut, your Cheddar, your Airtime Rewards, top gift cards. They often have one of those on there as an option, if not both. So you can use those again to bring yourself, we're only talking maybe 5, 6, 7%. Still, it's better than nothing, right? If you're paying top whack, that is a great way to bring the price down. And that's just touching the surface of some of those deals to save on the theatre. I do appreciate so much that was West End based. But again, do check out your local theatres as well. See if they have special deals. I went and saw something in Leeds the other week, and they had a special type of ticket, which was secret seats. So you didn't know where those seats were going to be until a day or two before the performance. But we paid 20 quid. We got them in the stalls. Should have been 50 quid. Our friends weren't able to get them because only a limited number. They paid 25 quid, and their seats were much, much further back in a circle. So again, look at your local theatre. If you aren't in London, do the same in London as well. But look at regional theatres, some great productions going on there, and see if they have their own different promos, different ways of saving some money. Details of all of these over on becleverwithyourcash.com. Now, if you are watching the YouTube pod version of the podcast. If you want to get the next sections, then you need to check out 2 separate videos. We've broken them down and uploaded them separately. First, we have the whole guide to ISAs, Best Buy Cash ISAs for 2024. Now, I did publish this a week ago, so some of those rates have changed on the fixed rate ISAs, but don't worry, becleverwithyourcash.com/savings has all the updates. But if you want to know about the best limited access and easy access cash ISAs for this financial year, then do check out that video because all that has all the breakdown of all the information. Plus, I've gone into a bit more detail on reward current accounts. This is the likes of Halifax Rewards, Club Lloyds, NatWest Reward, also TSB and Barclays have their own version as well, letting you know how you can get freebies like Disney Plus or cinema tickets or free cash every single month without much effort. So check out that video if you want to find out more of that. But here in this YouTube episode of the podcast, we're going to jump into our deals of the week. So deals of the week for episode 278 of Cash Chats. A bit thinner on the ground this time around. Not so many out there. A lot of them have ended over the weekend, but a couple worth checking out. First of all, if you have never joined the cashback site Top Cashback, they've recently given us an exclusive boosted rate of £20 for new members. The first time you use them, you do have to spend 10 quid. That's really easy. If you've never used them, there's something you want to buy from that cashback site, you are going to be able to get yourself effectively 20 quid for free. Again, more information about that over at becleverwithyourcash.com. Just head to the website and search for Top Cashback and you'll find that welcome offer listed there. Now, Nectar prices are, if you shop in Sainsbury's, frustrating at times. Sometimes they're a good deal, sometimes they're not such a good deal, but if you have to get the discount, you need to have a Nectar card and swipe it. Well, an interesting one that they're doing right now to celebrate Cadbury Chocolate's birthday is they are reducing the prices of many Cadbury chocolates, including Freddo's, back to 10p. Freddo's is one of those things where often people talk about how expensive they have got for such a small piece of chocolate. Well, for a limited time, as long as you swipe your Nectar card, you can get them for 10p. So if you like those, maybe go and stock up. If you are with energy with Octopus, then, which so many people are now, having had so many other energy providers move over to them, then make sure you are signed up for the Octo Plus reward system. There are a number of different perks that you can get there, but a new one that's just been added is a free hot drink from Cafe Nero every single week. So very easy to activate this, and then you go along to the place and you get your free hot drink. And if you're looking to get in a coach journey at some point this next few months, then have a look at Flixbus. You might not have heard of them, but they have got a network of coach routes around the UK, and they're doing a special for many, many routes, discount down to £3. So again, limited number of these, they'll go relatively fast, but it's worth having a look if you know you're going to be traveling by coach anytime soon. And one more one to tell you about, which again is not going to be for everyone, but it's worth thinking about. We've got a whole review of this over on becleverwithyourcash.com if you want to find out more about it. But this is a new subscription in London called LTAB. The idea is you pay, I think it's £25 every single month. And with that, you can get access to up to 4 free drinks every single day. Sounds amazing, right? The problem is that will change different bars around London every day, and you won't know where it is until the day. So you can't really plan around it. And there's only a limited amount of money of those free drinks at each venue each time. So could be good for you if you've got that flexibility and you go out a lot. It might not be well worth it for everyone else. But if you fancy giving it a try, there is a 7-day promo code. You can get it, won't pay anything, see how it is. If you don't like it, make sure you cancel it before that trial is up. If you do like it, maybe give it a month, do keep an eye on it and make sure you don't keep paying this money if you're not getting your money's worth. But effectively, if you go once a month, you could very well be getting some savings there on your drinks. That promo code, everything else I've spoken about today is over at becleverwithyourcash.com/deals. My name is Andy Webb. This is Cash Chats. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget, every single Thursday night, we've got our second episode live on YouTube. It'll be on audio apps like Spotify and Apple Podcasts on a Friday morning. That's Your Money This Week, taking you through the top money stories. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, I'll see you again next Tuesday for this one. Cheers.